So in this video, I will be reviewing and putting to the test the Nikon Z50 if it focuses 5.6 to 6.3 right here. Retractable lens. And I'm gonna do video, photo, and see how it looks all on my Nikon Z50. Stay tuned. So in this video, I will be finally taking out my new Nikon Z50 into a real-world photo and video test. And with my friend, we're doing this, and I finally have the 17 to 50, 16 to 50, 3.5 to 6.3. I don't know what Nikon was thinking by making it another stop. Instead of 5.6 goes up a stop to 6.3, so you're gonna lose a lot of light, and we'll see. We're gonna see how this guy shoots with video, photos, being native, probably looking at higher looking autofocus as well as 4K. Okay, let's go. So right now we're gonna be testing out some photos. This is all pretty low light, except you have some trees peeking through. Let's go through here. And first thing I noticed off the bat is face detection is really good, as well as eye detection. And I'm gonna get you to stand right here. So my settings right now are at 1/200, 3.5, and ISO at 1600. And I'm usually used to shooting not anything above 500 for photos, but we'll see how this does with higher ISO. Look at me. Put a little bit closer. And then I just want to test out in terms of different locations. That was a little dark, a little hard to get the shots. What I did notice was autofocusing in low light with the Z50 had a hard time detecting eye detection and overall keeping focus, even though I set it on wide. So I found this spot here, same, little dark. Now I'm gonna get you to keep that pose, don't move. Turn towards me just a little bit. Yep. Chin up. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all for shooting at 6.3. So my settings for most of the time, I was shooting at 1/125, 6.3, at 2000 ISO. So this is my first time shooting at 2000 ISO above, and we'll see how the quality of that turns out. I had some trouble in terms of face detection and eye detection because most of the time it was backlit, but for the most part I think it did a solid job in terms of AFS. You're looking at Most of the photos, if anything, all the ones you see are above 1000 ISO, so we'll see how that looks in post. And I was shooting mostly at 50 mil, not necessarily 16, so I do get more of that bokeh or more of that depth of field. Even though it's 6.3, you don't really get any bokeh balls. You're looking at more of a blurry background, and 50 on a crop is essentially, you're shooting at 16 to 50 is essentially times it by 1.5, so it's more like 30 to 60, 70-ish, but don't quote me on that. So right now, guys, I am focusing on wide autofocus, shooting at 120 frames per second. Try to move your face. Move the camera away from your face. Go down, yeah. Still here. Back focus, going to face. Yep. Come towards me. Now, guys, I'll be changing it to 4K, shooting at 24 frames per second. Settings are 1/50. Really bright right now, so I'm just gonna change my ISO to auto sensitivity. So now my ISO is auto, shooting at 4K, and we'll see how this autofocus does. So right now there is a square box over my friend's face, meaning it's detecting it completely fine. As I'm backing up, the box is still over the face. Can you put the camera up in your face?
Yes, here.
Yep, like let it cover your face. Okay. It is still detecting the face. Okay, put it down. Yep. Still on the face. Go really close. Now it's on my face, right? You see the square, the yellow square?
The yellow square.
So that is the autofocus. Now if I go away, it should focus on the back.
So?
And then now back at me.
Yes, I see it now.
Away. Back at me.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Then I can put this back. The cool thing about this camera is it has selfie mode. You see how there's an arrow on your face there? I can press it and it changed the focus from, if I want it to focus on my friend, or I can choose it to focus on me. Now, guys, I am recording at 24 frames per second, shooting at 4K video file shooting at 100 ISO right now, 1/50, 3.5, you're shooting at auto ISO. And although there's people in the background, the camera is choosing me as a face priority, and I'm just gonna be slowly walking away. And let's see how it's backlit right now. Detecting me completely fine. And we're seeing how this works out in terms of focus. People in the back. Gonna go look for a little loop. Completely, background is blown out, but I am still properly exposed, because you can actually put that setting within the camera itself where it's face detection in comparison to background and face detection in terms of auto ISO sensitivity. And this is what it looks like if I were to vlog in 4K with the 16 to 50. And one of the pros of actually vlogging with this is because although it's a kit lens, it's native glass or native lens. And one of the best ways of how you get the best autofocus for your videos or your cameras is actually using the native glasses or lenses. So if I have to put on a Sigma third party, the focus is going to be as great in comparison if I were to use a Nikon lens, even if it is just the kit lens itself. As you can see from my other video where I used my same friend with the Nikon 35, looking at the Nikon D50-200 compared to this is a huge upgrade in terms of autofocus, 4K capabilities, and how it's able to still detect my face, and it has not hunted or tracked for once. I've seen no issues with this camera in terms of autofocus. The only time I do see autofocus is when there is dark, you know, it doesn't do best in well light because it is a crop sensor. But that was my overall review. Like, it's a solid lens, you're not gonna get the most bokeh-licious. Like, as you can see, the background, that is as blurry as it gets. You can zoom in, make it a little bit more blurry, right? If you zoom in, there's actually a little bit of bokeh right there, right? Who says you can't get blurry backgrounds with the kit lens? But for the most part, your photos, this is the video quality of it. And I think it's a solid lens. Like, if you would not, I would not get this lens if you were to buy it separate, get it with the kit, hence it's called the kit lens. And it's a good place to start for video. Autofocus is fine. Low light photos, a little hard. I wish I had like a 1.2, 1.8. Did have some issues in the dark, but for general first impressions, I think it's a solid lens, man. Solid lens. Up next is, if you want me to use the 250, 50 to 250, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will definitely do that video next up, so stay tuned for that video and test footage coming soon. And my name's Peter. You're watching Broke Visionary Collective, where we all start with nothing, but you can always create something.